going to a totally new piece of public land. Neither one of us have ever set foot on this piece. We usually hunt so hard, we really don't enjoy ourselves too much. I'm hoping I haven't used up all my luck last year, because it took me 3 years to figure out how to kill one. Maybe this year I can be a little smarter and a little luckier. The first evening, I do a little bit of scouting and just do an observational sit over a lot of food on public land. I end up seeing 2 does. The first couple of days, I'm seeing some does, I'm seeing a few young bucks, but mostly I'm getting bombarded with people. I'm having squirrel hunters walk under me. I'm seeing lock-on stands. I'm seeing trail cams. I'm seeing boot tracks. So halfway through my hunt, I change up my strategy. I get some tips from a local about some locations, and I look at these locations on the map and find places I think that are hard to get to and still could have good cruising activity from the bucks. I hike into this spot and I set up. Before I'm even set, immediately I'm rewarded with some big buck action. I see 2 great bucks. This buck comes by me at 10 yards when I'm climbing my tree. I'm literally only 4 foot off the ground. He's almost eye level. He's so close I can smell him, and I'm helpless. My bow's on the ground. 40 minutes after the first buck, I see this bruiser. Look in the top right corner of the screen. You should see him come through. That's 2 giant deer that come this way. He's got my ground set. Please come on. We're allowing me. That is truly amazing. Holy smokes, what a deer. After the first hour of this place being dynamite, I sit for another day and a half, and my cruising bucks all turn into yearlings. It's 11 o'clock. I haven't seen anything except for one buck. He was way over on this hill, about 100 yards away. Saw him shortly after I did my interview this morning. And I doe-bleeded at him and he never came this way. I would have shot him for sure. He was like I only saw him for a split second in my binoculars, but he had, a decent rack. It wasn't much. It wasn't like impressive, but it was like branched, probably a 8-pointer or something like that. I'm getting pretty desperate. Now I don't know what to do. I hoped would have seen some action and give me confidence to stay here for this evening and tomorrow morning. But now I'm thinking I might move. I'm definitely going to sneak around and look at the surroundings and see if there's a better setup. But I've been in here for 2 mornings and 2 evenings, and I've seen deer movement and bucks come through here. Straight down this creek, there's a trail like 7 yards right there that looks like deer might J-hook into this bedding. And then I can shoot this little creek flat over here. There's standing corn up there. Stuff's starting to come alive this morning. Another reason I set up on the ground is because I couldn't find a tree I liked. I think this is a high percentage opportunity. Hoping someone will come in to me. And I can shoot him right over there. Fresh poop right there. I most definitely will not get the shot on film. There's my stand. My camera down there. Creek. I think this is bedding. I'm hoping they'll come to that crossing right there. So we had a huge buck walk by. He went up in this draw. I was in this creek. I couldn't get a shot. Come by at about 25 yards. Huge. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay in this creek all day long. I moved down the creek where I got a little bit better lane to where he went. There is a doe up in there with him. I think I got a good chance at him. Hopefully they'll get up and move. But after seeing that buck, I'm gonna sit in this creek bottom all day long till dark. The buck that came by stayed to the left, where I had too much brush to shoot through. My setup was hoping that they would take a right and end up on the creek flat to the right. After seeing that buck walk the trail along the corn and take a left, I adjusted my setup and moved down the creek so I could get a good lane to where he had walked. I did see a mature doe walk the same trail. My confidence was rising in this situation. At about 2:30, I used the rising day winds to cover my noise while I set up a stand to shoot the same trail for the evening hunt. This is a new buck coming down the same trail. I'm set up to shoot it. It's about a 25-yard shot. And he's walking and he's coming and I'm set. And he just for some reason decides to take a right and walk up in the corn. I grunt at him, snort wheeze at him, and he sits there and thinks about it and then he runs off. Look up in the top left corner of the screen. 6 o'clock. My Ohio hunt is over. At last light I called in some kind of buck. It came to probably 20 yards right over there. Stood around. I never could see it. It's too dark. But anyway, this was a heck of a day. I can't believe I couldn't get a shot. I saw the big buck this morning. I set up in the creek because I didn't know. I couldn't find a good tree. And I was scared to make a bad decision. So I wanted to just sit down, and I saw that buck. Then a doe went up in there with him. And I thought if I could just sit down in that creek and keep my wind from going up in there, I could probably see him this evening, because there's a lot of food that he was coming from. There's a lot of food where he was going too, though. But anyway, so he never did show back up. I saw another buck, a huge buck. He wasn't quite as big as the first one, but he was plenty big for me. Plenty big for anybody, I would think. And I snort-wheezed at him, and he just got out of dodge. Boy, I learned a lot this year. I'll be back. I love hunting this stuff. Frustrates me so much when I can't kill something, but I could have, but I don't want to leave here with a 4-point. I wanted something I'd be proud of. I saw 5 shooter bucks. The only one that was in bow range was when I had my bow tied up on the ground underneath me. But buddy, I learned. I got some data points now. So anyway, thank you for watching the Ohio 2021 campaign. This is Getting Close signing off.